Hello students, in this session we are going to learn the concepts of Unit 5. The title of Unit 5 is Firewall and Intrusion. So in this unit we are going to study the introduction to the firewall, then computer intrusion, what are the characteristics and types of firewall, what are the benefits and limitations of firewall. After that, we are going to study the firewall architecture, trusted system, access control. So, in this session, we'll first focus on the concept of firewall. Intrusion detection part, for that I am going to create another video. So, today, the use of internet is increasing rapidly. So, internet is the main medium of attack to the computer system or network. So to protect the computer or the network is the main intention of the network administrator. So here the firewall plays an important role in protecting the system. So it prevents the unauthorized access to and from the network. So firewall is an effective tool used to protect the network from the attackers. It also allows the internal users to access the outside network via internet and via the WAN, wide area network, right? So the firewalls are of two types, software and hardware, or it can be a combination of both. So firewall makes the security strong enough by performing centralized access control and protects the network as well as computers in the network. So firewalls are installed between the network and the internet. It is also installed in an intranet to protect one internal network such as one LAN from other LAN. Now let's see what are the different security functions that are performed by the firewall. So it blocks the unauthorized traffic. This is one of the function. Forwards the incoming traffic to more reliable internal computer system. It hides internal computers or networks which are vulnerable. Also, it hides the information about internal network such as names of the computer system, network topology used, types of network devices, right? So, in any organization, if a network is protected by a firewall, then the information, private information related to that network, that how many computer systems are connected, the names of the computer system, network topology, what has been used, what are the types of network devices, that has not been leaked anywhere. It has been kept as a hidden part at the firewall itself, right? So it provides strong user authentication, as well as it can serve as a platform for IPsec, right? Now let's see the characteristic of a firewall. So here, the firewall acts as a gateway for all traffic between the two networks. So it allows to pass only authorized traffic that is permitted by local security, right? Whatever the local security decides, only that traffic will pass through the firewall. So the firewall itself is protected from any type of performance. It cannot give assurance about protection from attacks coming from outside network. So here, risk analysis helps in defining the level of protection for firewall implementation. So firewall implements different local security policy. So it defines what types of protection is to be expected from the firewall, right? So while designing the policy, what factors are considered, that has been given here. So the first policy should be considered that defines what type of protection is to be needed from the firewall. Okay, what we expect from firewall, this is the first policy. Specifies the cases when the exceptions are considered. And the last one defines the rule for determining authorized and unauthorized traffic, right? We are going to decide and we are going to design these policies. So based on our need, we will say that this is the unauthorized traffic and this is the authorized traffic, right? So these policies will be used in firewall. Firewall uses 4 techniques to control access and enforce the security policies. So the very first technique is known as service control. So the access to any specific types of internet services is controlled by this technique. So it filters the traffic on the basis of port number, protocol, or IP address, right? So here the filtration of the traffic is done on the basis of port number, which protocol is used, and which IP address is being used, right? Then second one is the direction control. So it decides from where the particular service request should be initiated. It decides whether to allow the request to flow through the firewall or not. User control. So depending on the user access, it controls the access to the service. Behavior control. It controls the behavior of a particular service. Now let's go through the types of firewall. So firewalls are categorized into 3 types. First is packet filtering firewall, second is application level gateway, and third one is circuit level gateway. So let's go through this packet filtering firewall. So this is the first generation of firewall. It works on the rules and allows the IP packets for incoming and outgoing. So using this rule, the packets are forwarded or discarded, right? Some rules or policies has been designed, and based on that policies, the firewall decide whether to forward this packet or not, or whether to discard this packet, right? So this firewall works at OSI layer 3 and 4. So it is generally designed to filter packets going in both the direction. So it tracks the source address and destination address of the packet and TCP UDP port number. See, whenever a packet has been sent from the sender, we need this firewall to filter the packets in both the direction, whether it is going from source or destination, source address and destination address. Then the packet should be tracked how it travels from source address to destination address with the help of the port number, right? So the content of a packet are not analyzed by this firewall. Okay, now here the detailed architecture of firewall is shown here, or how the packet filtering is done is shown here. So there are various strategies for implementing packet filters, right? So we will go through the strategies, but first I will explain this how this packet filter works. Here there are the rules which are defined in this firewall, whether to allow a particular IP address or not has been mentioned, right? So here this IP address, the source IP address, has been allowed to pass through the firewall, and its port number has been mentioned here, as well as which protocol that packet is using has been mentioned here, right? The another IP address or the another clients which are connected to this firewall, they are denied, right? And its port number has been mentioned. Okay, so here if you see this IP address is present here, it's sending some packet through the internet. Its request is passed through the firewall to the server. Through this filter engine, the request is passed, since in the rules it has been defined that this IP address should be allowed to send the request to the server, right? And the other client which are sending the request, they are not allowed, therefore their request has been denied or rejected. Okay, so in this way the packet filtering works. So there are various strategies for implementing the packet filters. So these strategies are based on the information contained in a network packet. So some of them are here. So what is there? What are the information present here? Source IP address, destination IP address, source and destination port number, IP protocol field, and the interface. Now let's see what are the advantages of firewall. Its performance is good. It is very fast. It is transparent to the user. Then the traffic management is good and it is simple. Now let's see what are the disadvantages. In this firewall, using firewall, the first disadvantage is that direct connections are allowed between untrusted and trusted host. See, suppose this other client is an untrusted client and this IP address which has been source IP address, it's a trusted client. So this untrusted client can directly communicate with this trusted client, right? So there is a direct connection between untrusted client with the trusted client. This is the disadvantage. The next disadvantage is vulnerable to spoofing attacks, poor scalability. Most of these do not support advanced user authentication scheme. Due to improper configuration, it is susceptible to security breaches. Now let's see the attacks of packet filtering firewall, right? What we have seen the first type, that is packet filtering firewall. What attacks has been occurred on this packet filtering firewall? So first attack is IP address spoofing, second is source routing attacks, and third one is tiny fragment attacks, right? So let's see the first one, that is IP address spoofing. So the attacker sends the packet from outside the firewall. So the packet have different fields. One of the field is IP address of the source. So it gives the address information of the source of the IP packet, but the attacker puts the internal address as a source address. So he believes that due to this spoof address, the firewall assumes that this packet is from a trusted internal host and allows to pass that packet. Now, I will explain this with the help of a diagram. Now, this is our trusted IP address. What the attacker will do? Attacker will also set the same IP address and it will send the packet, right? So what the firewall filter engine will do, whenever that a packet has been sent with the same IP address of the attacker, then the firewall assumes that this is the trusted party and I should pass or allow the packet to flow to the server, right? So therefore this IP spoofing attacks get occur, right? Now, what are the countermeasures for this IP address spoofing? So if the packet is coming from outside and has the IP address of the internal host, then discard such packet. So this is implemented at the router which is external to the firewall, right? Now, you're going to check that this IP address is internal host or external host. Now the attacker was playing as an external host. So therefore the router which is placed between the firewall and the server, then it should assume that this IP address is the internal host. Whatever the request has come is from the external host. So discard this packet, right? Next is source routing attacks. So the attacker assumes that the source routing information is not at all analyzed. So the route of the packet across the internet is specified by the source. Next, what are the countermeasures for this attack? discard the packet which use this option. Next type of attack is tiny fragment attack. So the attacker creates small fragments using the IP fragmentation option. So the separate fragment is used for the TCP header information, right? So this design helps in avoiding the filtering rules based on TCP header information. So the filtering decision is taken from the first fragment of a packet, and on the basis of this first fragment segments, subsequent fragments of that packet are allowed or discarded, right? So what we are going to check? We are going to check the first fragment header, and based on that the other fragments will be allowed or discarded. So the attacker takes the advantage of this strategy that only the first fragment of the packet is examined for forwarding the complete packet, right? Though the packet is divided into fragments, the header will be attached only to the first fragment. When the first fragment is analyzed, based on that the other fragments will be accepted. So what the attacker will do? Attacker assumes that only the first fragment is analyzed. So therefore, what countermeasures should be taken here? So the preventive measure for this attack is to enforce a rule that the first fragment must hold a predefined minimum amount of the transport header. The filter should remember the packet if the first fragment of the packet is rejected. Okay, then discard the remaining fragments of the packet. Now let's see the next type of firewall, that is application level gateway, right? So packet filtering firewall is based on address information. So it examines the lower layers of the OSI model. So to provide more security, all layers of the OSI model should be examined simultaneously. So here the application level gateway firewall is useful, which provides this security, more security. How it provides? Let us see. So it uses a server based program known as proxy server or bastion host. It forwards or rejects the packet by ensuring that the protocol specification is correct. So proxies here accept request from external side, examine the request, and then forward the legitimate and trusted request to the destination host on the other side. So this type of firewall makes decision at all the 7 layers of the OSI model. So it acts as a mediator for different applications such as email, FTP, right? So it does not permit the client to directly connect to the destination node. Now let's see what are the advantages of this second level gateway, application level gateway. It is configured so that the firewall is the only host address that is visible to an outside network. So for separate services, separate proxy servers are used. So application gateways support strong user authentication. It provides strong access control. It is more secure than packet filtering firewall. Let's see the disadvantages of this. So for each application, special proxy is required. Here, the performance is slow. On each connection, there is an additional processing overhead. Sometimes it is inconvenient for the user, and there is a lack of transparency. Next is demilitarized zone. So let us see what do you mean by this term. So there are two types of firewall based on its location in the network. First is internal firewall and the second one is external firewall. So internal firewall protects the entire network of an organization, and external firewall is installed at the boundary of local or organization network. So it is located inside the boundary router. Okay. So the reason between this internal between this internal firewall and external firewall is called as demilitarized zone, DMZ, right? So many network devices are located between these two firewalls. It includes devices which are allowed to access from external network. So these devices can be accessed externally but protected from vulnerability. So the system which are located in DMZ require connectivity with external network such as domain name server, an email server, or a website, right? So the protection and access control to this system are provided by the external firewall. The external firewall provides basic security to the entire network. The internal firewall has strong filtering capabilities as compared to external firewall. So this provides strong security to the servers and workstation from the external attacks. The internal firewall also provides two-way protection. Initially, it protects the entire internal network from attacks launched from DMZ system that originate from worms, bots, or other malicious software. Then, the internal firewall protects system located at DMZ area from internal attack. To protect different portions of the large network from each other, multiple internal firewalls are used. The last type is circuit level gateway. So, circuit level gateway is a type of firewall and it is a standalone system. It validates connections and then allows the exchange of data. It also works as per defined rules similar to packet filter, right? In packet filtering, we have seen that there are some rules and that rules should be followed by firewall. So again, in circuit level gateway, there are some rules and that should be followed by the firewall. So this circuit level gateway cannot route the packets. The connections are allowed or discarded based on these rules. So circuit level gateway establishes connection between the source and the destination. It focuses on the TCP/IP layer. It is more secure than the first type, that is packet filtering. This firewall is installed between the router and the external network such as internet. So the actual address is hidden from the external user because only the address of the proxy is transmitted. So circuit level gateway provide services for many different protocols. It can be adapted as per the requirement to provide greater variety of communications. So the advantages of this type is it is transparent to the user. This is excellent for relaying outbound traffic. What are the disadvantages? It is slower than packet filtering firewall as well as inbound traffic is risky. Now let's see what are the benefits and limitations of firewall. First benefit is that increased ability to enforce network security standards or policies. Second benefit is that centralization of internet work audit capability. Let's see what are the limitations of firewall. It cannot protect those attacks that bypass the firewall. That means if a new unique attack occurs, then since the rule for that attack is not mentioned in the firewall, therefore the attack gets bypassed by the firewall. It cannot protect the network against the internal attack. An internal firewall that separates the different parts of a network cannot protect against wireless communication among local computer systems on different sites in different sides of the internal firewall. So different devices such as laptop or portable storage device may be used and infected outside network and then internally, right? So these are the limitations of firewall. So here we will stop, and in the next video lecture we will go through the firewall architecture. Thank you.